So Joby gets an FAA sign-off to launch an air taxi flight academy. Joby is making eVTOLs designed for a pilot to fly around as many as 4 passengers on short hop flights. And they're trying to start this out in New York City and Los Angeles.
Places, you are using that as an actual alternative to avoid expressways and everything like that. It seems like those are another great use for something like this.
Hi, I'm David with EV World News. It's Wednesday, and I have our resident engineer, Mike Herzog, with us today. How's it going, Mike?
Doing great, David. Glad to be here again.
Let's start off talking about Joby. So Joby gets an FAA sign-off to launch an air taxi flight academy. Joby is making eVTOLs, and their goal is to make electric, they call them electric air taxis, designed for a pilot to fly around as many as 4 passengers on short hop flights. And they're trying to start this out in New York City and Los Angeles. And it's a different kind of aviation. And it really is more like the taxi industry versus, general aviation, because they're using them for things that a helicopter might have been used for. So we've got something they call their Part 141 Flight Academy certification from the FAA, which lays the groundwork to begin training qualified aviators as Joby Aviation Academy in Watsonville, California. That really sounds like it'd be kind of fun to do.
And look at other applications for those. I'm thinking about places that actually have like water taxi services, on the coast or Seattle, where, places, you are using that as an actual alternative to avoid expressways and everything like that. It seems like those are another great use for something like this.
Well, we know that there's always criticism about electric vehicles, right? Well, one of the big ones is range. And this is, very true in the aviation space, okay? You can only get so far on an electric battery, okay? You aren't going a long ways. And the thing is, they are ideal for those little short hops where you just got to take somebody 10 miles, 20 miles. It's just like, islands have no reason to have gas cars. Okay. I mean, there's just no reason to even have gas stations on them. You could easily, on just about every island on the, that isn't the size of Greenland, you could very easily, replace gas powered vehicles of pretty much all kinds. Now, if you're flying a plane from, somewhere to the United States, somewhere in the Caribbean, United States, that's a different story. But when you're just going from island to island, you're in a good spot.
It makes a lot of sense in those applications when you start, even from just the vehicle perspective. Like, what are some of the, wow, they can only go so fast, they have certain range. Like, well, you're not getting up to 70 miles per hour on an interstate there. I mean, you're going 20 or 30 no matter where you're going in those places. It seems like when you have such supply chain issues with fuel and high fuel costs, and everything, it just makes a ton of sense. Makes a ton of sense if they can actually get that figured out.
Oh, it does. It does. I think there's a lot of applications for electric aviation, but it's funny how much criticism we get. And the criticism's always they don't have much range. Well, we're not talking about trying to make them go far. We're trying to make them be reasonable and be able to solve, certain use cases. So these vehicles, they look cool. I mean, but to me, it's just an electric, I'll offend a bunch of people who are into these vehicles, but the eVTOLs, I guess if the engine turns and goes a different direction, that's, a whole different ballgame. Well, I guess it does. I mean, that's pretty neat to see it take off. Like, obviously a helicopter can't do that, but it's definitely a different use case. So much cheaper on operating costs, a lot less to maintain on the vehicle, than you would on the standard aircraft. But you have 5 of these electric motors though, too, right? So I think part of it is some of those are for redundancy. I'm sure the thing could probably fly fine on 3 of them working, kind of thing. Yeah. Tommy, yesterday we were talking about China announced a goal of 100,000 eVTOLs in China by 2030. So in 6 years, they're going to go from a handful to 100,000. And to put that in perspective, the United States has about just slightly over 200,000 general aviation, commercial, and military aircraft. So that would be half of what the U.S. currently has. Most aircraft in the United States are just general aviation, like small planes. But this is going to take the place of some of those, but these are going to, you're not going to take one of these for a cross-country flight.
It's cool. I mean, it's fun to see. I mean, it is like Tommy's comment. It's a flying e-car. I mean, that's a flying car that you have. Yeah.
Hi, I'm David with EV World News. If you like this video, then please press the like button. If you like the content and would like to see more videos on electric vehicles, then please hit the subscribe button. If you have some feedback for us, please let us know in the comments. Have a great day.